Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough with 4 characters of Atlantis Rising. This is one of my favorite top 10 games. And if you haven't watched the setup video, just so you guys know, this game is going to be part of a board game exchange that I'm going to have with Board Online, Board Offline. So after I do this playthrough, I'm going to ship it over to him and he's going to do a playthrough. So you guys can see 2 different ways this game is played. Once when he plays it, once when I play it. And then when he ships it back, he's going to ship me a game from his collection that I can do a playthrough of. So we're just going to have lots of fun. Hope you guys enjoy that. Let's get started with the playthrough. First thing that we'll do is we'll decide who our first player is. Technically, it's the first one that went or the last one that went swimming. Well, we're going to pretend the scholar was the last one that went swimming. She'll be our first player. Since we're playing with the fan-made expansion, we will draw our first 2 ships. And we have the Mecha Kraken. We'll put that right over here. And the galleys. So we have to, if we put somebody here, when we do the rolling of the dice for the Athenians, we have to give up ore and a crystal, but then that counts as 5 points. And then down here, we'd have to give up a gold, and that counts as 4 points, or 2 mana crystals for 4 points. The galleys, just 1 point on the top, 1 point in the middle, and 2 points at the bottom of the ship. Don't forget, to do this Mecha Kraken, you have to do the top part before you can fill the bottoms. So the next step is we place all of our workers. Now, here's the thing. Normally when you play cooperatively with 4 different people, you would each place your workers one at a time starting with the first player. Or if you play advanced, you can all place your workers at the same time. You just need to make sure you work together. And since I've played this a bunch of times and it's way easier for me to just show you what all players are doing in each section, that's what I'm going to do. So the explorer, who's yellow, is going to go right over here. What that means is he's using 1 worker and he's going to the city. And as long as that tile doesn't flood, he'll be able to gain another worker. Now, the priest is also going to do the same thing, but he's going to go to this location because he can't go here since it's already full. Now, since he's gone here, he has to use 2 workers. But he's using 2 workers, he'll get 1 additional worker. The same thing is going to be done with the artificer. She's also going to go here. We're just going to get a lot of workers at the beginning. So she'll place 2 of her 3 workers here, and she'll get a 3rd as long as that tile does not flood. Now, if you remember from the setup video, the scholar has a nice ability in the libraries. What she can do is she can either add 1 to the amount of cards that she draws or add 1 to the amount of cards that she gets to keep. So if you look at this, this says you get to draw 2 cards and keep 1. But if she goes there, she gets to draw 2 cards and keep 2. So what she's going to do is she's going to use 2 of her workers and go actually to the next spot up, which is the same thing. It would normally be draw 2, keep 1, but she's going to be able to draw 2 and keep 2, and she'll be able to do that 2 times because she has 2 workers here. The city, which I showed you, is the only location that you have to fill up an entire row with the same workers to get the benefit. If she just placed 1 worker here, she'd get to draw 2 cards and keep 2. But since I'm putting 2 here, she gets to draw 2 cards or 4 cards and keep all 4. Next, let's take a look at the Athenians. So right here, the Athenians start out and they add 0 to their die roll. So here's the die. This is not a normal 6-sided die. There are 2s, 3s, and 4s, and 1 5. There's no 6s and no 1s. So right now, whatever we roll on this die is going to be the number that we need to beat. The highest number is a 5. I think we can do that. I'm showing you the galleys here. The Mecha Kraken we're not even going to use because we don't have any resources, so I'm not going to worry about using that. So we're going to use the artificer in the first boat, the priest behind that, and then the explorer behind that. So 2, 3, 4. That counts as 4 points, and we're going to take a chance that we're not going to roll the 1 5 that is on this die. If we do, we'll have to flood a tile. Here we have the hills. This is how we're going to be able to get gold. What we're going to do is we're going to use our explorer and place him right here. So he has to roll a 4 or higher to get a gold. But remember his ability. His ability is all numbers that are on these are decreased by 1. So he only has to roll a 3 to get a gold. Our final worker, the scholar, has 1 more. She's going to place a worker here in the center of the island. She can get mana crystals there. You get 1 per the worker that you have there. We have now placed all of our workers. Let's draw our 4 flood cards. Now what I like to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, is hold the flood cards in my hand and do one at a time. So that way I remember how many are left. Because sometimes you forget, how many did I flip? So there's 4, let's do it. I'm sorry you guys, I should show you this. So first of all, we just did place Atlanteans. We're now doing the draw misfortunes. The ships isn't on here because that's the added expansion. But what we have over here also is I want you to see is what you can do with mystic energy. So anyone can use 1 mystic energy to add 1 to any resource roll. And you can use multiple mystic energies to do that. So if I used 3 mystic energies, I would add 3 to a roll. You can also use 2 mystic energy to transmute 1 resource to another person. You can also use 3 mystic energy to cancel a flood misfortune. But you see how it has that little asterisk? That 3 is from the group. So I could have the artificer and the priest and the explorer each give up 1 mana crystal, and then that would cancel a flood misfortune. So it doesn't have to all come from 1. Same thing with this unflooded, flooded tile. You can always unflood a flooded tile by discarding 5 mystic energy, and you can do that at any time. So if you can respond to that flood misfortune and flip 3 or give up 3 mystic energy, you're good to go. But if later on you go, oh gosh, I need that tile unflipped, you'll have to pay 5. One other thing I forgot. The priest at the beginning of each turn gains 1 mystic energy, so he has 2. Nice. Are you ready for these? I'm not. Here's our first one. Hopelessness. All players lose all courage tokens immediately, even those already placed. That's actually really nice that we did that right now. Nobody has any courage tokens. Great. All right, here's our second one. Oh, calm seas. Nothing happens. There's like 6 of those in the deck. We love them when we see them. Let's see, here's our next one. Okay, flood forges. We're not going to stop that, so we'll have to flood the forge, which means we'll flip the farthest out tile upside down like so. And now we can no longer go to that space. We no longer can transmute or change 1 ore into 3 Atlantium, which is a bummer. And our last one, flood the cities. Now we don't want to do that because remember, we have an explorer over there that is on that spot, and he would not be able to get his additional worker. So we're going to have the priest give up 2 and the scholar give up 1 for 3 mystic energies to cancel that misfortune. Now that we have drawn our misfortunes, we'll go to the production phase. First thing we'll do, we'll start in the center, and the scholar gets 1 mystic energy back. Moving over to the cities, we have the explorer is able to get an additional worker for next round. So now he has 4. Same thing with the priest, but he had to use 2 of his workers. He'll get another 1 of his workers. And the artificer, same thing. An additional worker to make a total of 4. Here at the libraries, we'll be able to grab both of these and draw 4 of those knowledge cards. Oh man, she got some pretty sweet cards. We have the Science of Shielding. Place a Mystic Barrier token on any tile, and we're totally going to use that right now. We have the Secret of Greed. Discard any number of gold. For each gold discarded in this way, permanently gain 1 Atlantium of your color, or gain 2 gray Atlanteans to use this turn only. Oh, that's sweet. We have the Lost Schema. Pay 1 less of any resource when building a component. So that basically gives her part of the ability of the Artificer. And then the Glimpse of Truth. Discard 1 crystal, gain 5 mystic energy. All right, well, she'll hold on to these, except for this one, place a Mystic Barrier token on any tile. And what that token does is if that tile gets flipped to be flooded, instead you remove the Mystic Barrier. Because at the beginning of the game, it's so important to get your workers as soon as possible, because you can just do so much more with 6 than you can with 3, we're going to place it over here on the lowest part of the city here, so that way this is a very safe place to put 1 of your workers. Our last action on the board is the Explorer trying to get some gold, and he only has to roll a 3 because of his special ability. Here we go, and as you can see, I'm using my Chip Theory dice tray. If anybody has seen my Too Many Bones playthrough, you know that I paid Chip Theory Games to give me a dice tray that only rolls me the numbers that I want. So let's see, just a 3 or higher. Yes, a 4. So will get 1 gold. Next, we're going to roll for that ship. And remember, all we're doing is we're adding 0 to this roll. So we're just looking for not a 5. Yeah, not a 5. Dang it. Apparently this Chip Theory Games rolls too high. That's my problem. Well, we had a 1 in 6 chance, and of course we did it. So you can see 2, 3, 4. We have 4. The ship with the die got a total of 5 fight, so we have to flood 1 tile. Now, we also would gain courage, but here's the thing. Nobody has 2 or more workers on any of the boats, and you have to have 2 or more workers and then have the most workers on this area to be able to get a courage token. So nobody gets a token, and we have to flood a tile. Bummer. I think we're going to flood this one over here in the libraries because I don't think we'll go there often. We'll just stay at the 2 for 2. That is the end of the first round. Now you can see we only have 2 tiles flooded, so we're doing okay right now. We technically could try and build components. Each player could build up to 1 component, but only 1 person actually got a resource, so not going to worry about that. Let's start the next round. First thing with the next round, we move the ship up 1, and now the ship is going to add 1 to the die roll that we do. So if we rolled a 5, the total fight value would be 6. And let's draw our ships. Oh! Alright, so we got this card. We need to shuffle the discard pile and draw piles together and draw new ships. Let's go. We have... Ooh, this does not look good. The shock frigates. We need to have crystals to be able to put somebody in the front of the boat. Let's see. Come on, be something good. Oh, that's not good either. Wave riders. So here's the thing. The wave riders, we put somebody here. It's worth 0. Now, if we had any courage tokens, a courage token normally adds 1, but on these wave riders, a courage token adds 2. But we don't have any courage tokens, and we would have lost them anyways. So, man, I got to figure out what we're going to do. Of course, before doing that, our priest gets a mystic energy. We're going to have to take the risk, you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to put the explorer here in the shock frigates, and we're going to hope to goodness he can get a crystal, okay? Then we're going to put the priest here, and just so I don't forget, put the mystic energy there. But that's going to be 7. Even if I roll a 5, plus 1 is only 6. So that should be sufficient in the boats. We're going to do some heavy recruiting here. We're going to put the scholar here, the artificer here, and then 2 of the 4 of the explorers here. And remember, the other explorer is on that shockwave frigate. Ooh, you know what? I can't do that. Instead, I'm going to do the priest there because I've got to use the explorer to be able to get some crystals. We're going to grab another 2 for 2 for the scholar. We'll put another scholar in here for some more mystic energy. The priest is going to put his 4th worker in here for mystic energy. As you can see for those roll numbers, look at the lowest one is a 4, the highest is a 6 for crystals, so they are the hardest. So I'm going to do 3 of the explorers here, 1 at a 4, because there's only 1 spot for the 4, and 2 at a 5. The artificer, I think, is going to try and go for a 3 for some ore, so that she can get that into Atlantium. And something else I'm terrible at remembering, moving first player. First player is the explorer. Let's draw our 4 flood cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Our first card, Flood the Forges. I don't think we're going to stop that, so we'll have to flip this one. Oh man, the forges are going away fast. Then we have Flood the Hills, and that is the gold over here. That gets rid of our only 3 for a gold. Oh. Then we have Flood the Mountains. And, I mean, that's not great, but that would have been our 2 to get ore. We'd only have to get a 2 on a die. And we have the Plague. All players must return 1 Atlantium from play on an island tile or from the Atlantean Navy to their personal supply. Oh, that's terrible. Well, we're going to lose this guy for the Explorer. We're going to lose, for the Artificer, 1 of the ore collectors. And for our Scholar, oh, we need more mystic energy. I'm going to take a chance. We'll remove her from the mystic energy. I mean, sometimes those knowledge cards can be really helpful. Oh, and I have to do the priest. And the priest will also remove from mystic energy. The scholar, the artificer, and the priest all receive another worker. That's going to give the priest, I think, 5, the artificer 5, and the scholar 4. Next, let's do the explorer. He needs a 3+ or a 4+. So we'll do 2 rolls, seeing if we can get 1 crystal. If we can't, this could be bad. Okay, let's do the easier one first. So this one needs to be a 3+. Yes! So that gives us 1 crystal. Now, let's try it again. And this one has to be a 4+. Come on. Yeah! Oh, yes. So he has 2 crystals. He'll immediately give up 1 to be able to fill up that shock frigate. Next, let's see if that artificer can hit a 3+ for some ore. 3+, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Oh, it's a 2. Okay, so we could use a mystic energy, but here's the thing. We only have 3 mystic energy as a group left, and I want to keep that mystic energy in case we really need to cancel a flood for next round, so I'm just going to fail, which is such a bummer. Last but certainly not least, the scholar, drawing 2 and keeping 2 because of her ability. Oh, we've got an alchemical formula and a lore of persuasion. This lets us transmute up to 3 resources into any other resource. So we can get 3 ore and turn them into 3 crystals. Amazing. And Lore of Persuasion, you gain 2 additional Great Atlanteans for your use on this turn only. So we'll see. But that's awesome. We were able to pay off the ship, so we'll take these 2 off. And I'm not even going to roll because 5, 7, the highest we can get is a 6. So we're guaranteed to be able to succeed. And unfortunately, no one had 2 on the boats or more, so no one, again, gets a courage token, which is a bummer. At the end of each round, I'll make sure to come and do a back-out shot so you guys can see the island, because you can physically see it sinking. Look at, there's our 4 tiles that are already sunk. So it's just, you can feel the pressure because you get less and less places to put your workers. But as you can see, we're getting more and more workers. So all of a sudden we're going to go in, oh, who needs to do what, when, where? You know, I love it. But all right, let's start that next round. First things first, the Athenians get just a little bit stronger. They're at a 2. And then we'll draw our ships. Oh, so we've got the sentry cannons and, oh yeah, the tidal conduits. So the sentry cannons, you have to pay an ore to put a worker there. And if we do the tidal conduits, if you put somebody in the top part here, you have to flood a tile. So now the average roll, it's got a 2 plus usually about a 3, so a 5. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I think you guys are going to take a chance. We're going to put the explorer here, hoping he can get some ore. Then we're going to put one of the priests here for a total of 5. And we're just going to leave it at that. I mean, I could put 1 more out and guarantee that we're good and get someone a courage token, but then I'd have to either get more ore or flood a tile. And I don't want to do that yet. So that's how we're going to deal with the Athenians this round. Don't forget, the priest gets another mystic energy. So I think the explorer is going to go here, and he's just going to place 1 here in the mountains because he only has to roll a 2+. I think he can do that. He's going to place another worker here on the 4 for gold because he's looking to build this control pod. So this control pod needs 2 gold and 3 Atlantium. And if he creates this or builds this, then he gets to gain 1 Atlantean. So that's a great way, instead of having to go to the cities, he can build that and then just get an Atlantean that way. I did, of course, just say that about the Explorer, but I wanted to get his 5th worker, so that'll guarantee he's getting his 5th worker. The Scholar will go here with 2 workers, so she can get her 5th, and so will the Priest, so he can get his 5th. I think I'm also going to have the Scholar come over here and do 2 rolls for some ore, because remember, if she can get 2 or 3 ore, she can convert 3 ore into 3 crystals. So she's going for the cheapest, trying to get the best. The priest is using his last 2 workers to go here so he can get 2 mystic energy. And the artificer is going to join the priest, and go with 2 here as well. I think I'm going to have the artificer go here for 1 to see if she can get some gold. She's going to join the scholar over here to get some more ore. And she could take a risk here and try and go for a 4 for a crystal, but I think she's going to play it safe and go here for the 5 to try and get a crystal. We've placed all our workers. Let's draw our 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, our 4 flood cards. Here's our first one, flood the forest. Oh, it's a good thing she didn't go here. That flips this one right over. Let's see, our second one is flood the mountains. Now that one we're gonna have to cancel. So we're gonna grab 3 of our mystic energy here and cancel that. Only one person now has mystic energy, and that's the explorer. Next, let's see, sabotage. Return to the blueprint one component that has already been built. Oh, that would be terrible. That component must be built again, and you can gain the benefit again. Well, we haven't built any yet, so there's an advantage. And we have, the worst one, a controlled flood. Now, you see how these are a little bit different than the regular flood tiles? These ones you can't cancel. So we have to flood 2 tiles in any sections. So I think we're gonna flood one of the libraries, and then we're gonna flood one of the gold here in the hills. All right, let's do our actions. First things first, the artificer and the priest each get 2 mystic energy. Yeah, this is what we need. We need to build up some mystic energy to prevent some of those flood misfortunes. Next, the explorer gets his 5th worker, the scholar gets her 5th worker, and the priest gets his 6th worker. Yeah. Next, let's roll for all of the individuals in the mountain. So 1 for the explorer, 2 for the scholar, and 1 for the artificer. Okay, let's have the one that's really important, the artificer, go first. And remember, he only needs a 2 or higher. Oh, he gets a 3. Perfect. So he gets 1 ore. Now we're going to roll 2 times for the scholar. Let's see. First one, it's a 1. It's terrible. And here's the second one. It's a 1. Oh my gosh, so she totally failed. Last, it's the artificer. Come on. A 6? Yeah, that's going to get you some more. Now let's roll for the 2 trying to get gold. One is the explorer, who only will have to roll a 3, and the artificer will have to roll a 4. This one will be for the explorer. Come on, just a 3. Yeah, so he now has a total of 2 gold and 1 crystal. And of course, he has that ore, but he's having to give that up for the sentry cannons. Next is the artificer. Okay, come on. A 6. Oh, wow. So she also gets some gold. And now, you can imagine that when you're playing this cooperatively, you can all be rolling at the same time. So this goes much quicker. It's a little bit slower, and I'm having to do all the rolling individually. All right, the last artificer and the last roll is for a crystal. Has to get a 5, though. The way she's been rolling, this shouldn't be a problem. Can I undo that? Now we're going to roll for the boat. We're not looking for 4s or 5s. Good, a 3. A 3 plus where the ship is a 2 is a total of 5. We have a 5, 3 plus 2, so we're good. But once again, nobody gets any courage. We'll get there soon.